once again.
Hello, it's Jimmy from Riley's. I'm just going to fit an alternator on this Focus 1.6 TDCi. So the alternator is down here, and we're going to remove all of these plugs from here and remove these 7mm bolts from the Jubilee clips, and then we're going to try and remove this section here. First we'll remove the battery, disconnect it. Once you've loosened these up, you've got a T30 Torx at the back here, and a 10mm bolt down here, and another 10mm or a T30 Torx in there, sorry, underneath. Just get these loose. Pull that loose. And we've got a 7mm attaching it to the lower pipe down here. So get that off. And you notice I didn't need to take out the T30. It was just from the side 10mm and underneath 10mm. Gonna unplug this plug. And we've got a bolt here to take out. This bolt is a 10mm. Now we need to move over to the tensioner. You can get a spanner on there and loosen this back. You're going to move the tensioner forward like that so you can get the belt off. Now this is all out of the way. We've got a bolt inside there, and one on the other side over here, and we're going to need to get the tensioner off, so you've got a couple of 10mm bolts here, so you're going to need to get those off. One, two, and three 10mm bolts. These bolts over here, 16mm. For the one in the back, we're going to need an open end spanner or a ratchet spanner like this. And we've got that bolt out, and it just makes it a little bit easier to get it out if you've got a swivel ratchet spanner like that. Now we've got one more 16mm bolt just down there, if you can see there. So we just need to get that off. Now all of the bolts are out, we just need to get a pry bar, and you've got these dowels here that are pressed in against, which press it in place, so even though the bolts are out, it's not going to move. We need to get a pry bar in behind and just wedge it out. And if you can, press those dowels back a little bit so it's going to be easier to get your new one in. Just move the alternator right back. Get down the bottom and just give it a little wiggle.
So I'll have a bit more gambling and see if I can pay your wages.
And when we've pry barred the alternator forward, notice there's another bolt down the bottom. You've got 4 bolts, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. Once that bolt's loosened off, it can stay where it is, and then the alternator should just lift out. There we got it, the old one. So if you look at the alternator, you've got a bolt from in this side, one in this side, then down the bottom, one goes in this side, and one comes in the back side. So we'll get our replacement. Now we're just going to slide this back down. Find the right angle. Now it's in place. We're just gonna align it up and get some of the bolts in. It's pretty straightforward. Line that up. Get your bolt in the back. You're gonna get this bottom one in first, then the other bottom one, then we'll start on the top. Now the 4 bolts are back on the alternator. We can get the tensioner back on. I'm going to have a little bit of trouble with this one because right here there's a piece of it broken off, which I should be able to put a pin into to lock it in place, but I can't. So we'll have to figure that out once we've got it on. So now the bolts are all on and the tensioner is back on there. And now it's just a case of putting this bolt back on, putting the plug back in, and putting all of this back together.